Start the morning right with a cup of vinyl tap. Nothing beats the refreshing taste of a hot, warm mug of vinyl tap. Enjoy your podcast in liquid form today. Vinyl tap. Enjoy responsibly.
2, 1.
Vinyl tap. I'm Tim.
I'm Tim.
I'm Tim.
And today we've listened to Cypress Grove by Glaive.
Yeah, what a quick trip that was.
Yeah.
8 minutes, was it?
13.
Okay,
But, same
okay.
shit.
It was good.
Short and sweet.
I liked it more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, it was weird.
Sweet's a strong word. Oh.
Yeah, I definitely, I don't know if sweet is what I would use to describe this. It's very high energy, and
To the point.
to the point.
To the point.
Yeah.
I like that to the pointness. It was great.
There's no fucking around.
No, not at all.
Wait,
Just
straight
like,
into
yo,
it.
here
I
we
love
go.
it.
What you get at the beginning of the album is what you get for the entire album.
But
you
it's
know?
only 13 minutes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really wear thin.
Yeah. Vocals, they just like, what's going on? There is no, like, it's relentless. No rest. It's just like constant driving.
Yeah.
The
One line
vocals-
ends so that the next one can begin.
The vocals do carry a lot more. There's a lot of sections where it's just vocals.
Yeah.
And nothing else, which is interesting.
And
And I
it's-
have a question. With the vocals, there's clearly auto-tune on it, but not like
It's not that
insane
heavy.
amounts.
Yeah,
it's
not
there.
T-Pain.
But then, it's not quite the Finn effect, which we spoke about, but it's basically, there's no single vocal line, right? It's always some sort of harmony.
Sometimes there is, but for the most part, there's two melodies going on
At the
basically.
same time.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
And like the rhythm is generally matched. Sometimes there's overlaying lines. It's such an interesting texture that you don't see often in popular music. Hey.
No, but
No.
it's like the driving force of this.
Wait, so when you
And,
say
like,
the Finn effect,
We're talking about the Finn brothers we talked
Yeah.
about literally 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
yeah. And so you're talking about being rhythmically aligned, but
Well, just having, because remember
Slightly
with
Basically
them,
different.
the same voice harmonizing.
it was
Yeah.
basically, there wasn't a single melody. The melody was both lines together.
Yeah,
Which is
okay,
kind of
okay,
what was
yeah.
happening here. I was like, I couldn't pick
I
out.
drew the same comparison, Jason.
Cool.
Well done.
yeah.
It's gold star. I don't know. It was just really weird because, again, it's not something you hear a lot of. But everything seemed to be built around that because, at least for me, all the like other textural musical decisions were based around where the vocals were meant to be and what was the vocals were doing.
Very
Yeah.
vocular album.
Yeah.
You can use that term. Not that, don't know why you would. Yeah, man, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I had such a good time with this album, and it's probably in no small part due to how short it is. But it's also due to like there's so much musical competency, and this guy Glaive, I think he's like 16.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
This I hesitate to call him a kid because he clearly like has such a grasp of what he's doing, but he's still in high school.
Cool.
And what are you doing with your life?
Well,
Sunny,
yeah.
Sunny
Sitting-
Jim
Sunny
Malone.
Jim.
Sitting here talking
Talking
about a
about what he's
16-year-old.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
I was going into this expecting the production to be as consistent and as good as what it was. I'm very surprised by the amount of textural and timbral shifts between sections. I don't think there was ever like a consistent like thing that stayed the same across like an entire song. I
Gonna
think it
disagree
changed.
with that point. The vocals
Really?
themselves were a consistent thing that never changed across the song. And for me, that was kind of the thing that stuck out the most was that the like backing of it was super varied, heaps of different sounds, heaps of space, but the vocals were this constant like just attacking thing where there was barely, I think I noticed like 2 moments where there was actually space in the vocal line. Otherwise, it was just that kind of like
And
affected
that's
thing.
so
yeah.
interesting because in most music, it's built around a vocal line and then reprieve from it.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
other way around. Whereas this, it's like the vocal line is the one driving consistency, and everything else is super varied, super like.
Because I was going to say, there's so many like tacits and shifts in texture and like rhythmic variation of things. In Touché, which was probably like the slowest paced song on the album.
Yeah.
The percussion.
It also started like in the middle of the song. Like
Yeah.
it just like I was like, hang on a moment. I feel like I missed the first 15 seconds of this, and what an effect. Continue.
The percussion was less intense, which I think made it feel slower, but the harmonic, not the harmonic rhythm, but the sounds doing the harmony were like arpeggiated and had more movement and intensity to them, like almost compensating for the percussion not being as intense and like energetic. So it was slower, but it was still energetic and moving.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting thing about the vocals, they keep going, they're the driving force, but also stylistically they're so consistent across, like there's not much variation in the style of delivery.
Reminded me of mumble rap.
Yes, it's there was one point where I wrote
Some
it as
sections.
there's a mumble
Yeah,
fugue, and I thought that's a fun combination of
A
words.
mumble fugue.
Yeah.
What section
And there's
was
like
that?
a mumble chorale later on.
Is that
Picking up on
I
falling
think I got that because there was a bunch of moments where I was like, yeah, this is very. It's like mumble rap where it's sort of there's not a lot of clear dictation in what's being said, but it's very rhythmic. So it's not like like Eminem is like the absolute hard opposite, right? Where a lot of the rhythm comes from the consonants. It's very like you're
Like
getting
a teenager
real
talking to you.
right. You get like that real strong sense of rhythm, but kind of hard to make out the words sometimes.
But the pitch
Almost
is
of the
super
time.
clear. That's the difference to mumble rap is how pitched it is.
Right.
It's
yes.
very tonal.
Yes.
So this is such an interesting not clash, just like unity of different influences. It's like drawing from all over the place. I was not expecting to hear so much guitar.
No.
Yeah, what was with the guitar, honestly?
I think it's one of those straight acoustic guitar without effects on it is going to sound weird and out of place with everything else being so hyper produced and over like just affected. So I think you have to put something on it to make it sound not quite natural acoustic guitar.
Yeah, but why was there so much? Like, why just have acoustic guitar at all?
Because maybe that's the instrument, maybe that's the place you write the songs from in the first place.
And why not have acoustic guitar?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. It just
It's a thing that stood out to us that we're talking about.
Okay, well, look, touche, Glaive, touche. But yeah, I don't know. It was kind of. Yeah, okay, maybe you're right because like I noticed it at the beginning of most songs, and then it wasn't in. Where was it?
Why was it not?
There was a song where it wasn't, and then it came in halfway through, and I was like, "Ah, you got me." I think it was touche or. Hi, how are you? How are you doing?
Man, my favorite thing about that song, "Hey, how you doing?" is the complete silence. There's these bits where there's actually nothing. If you were to look at the waveform, it'd be just dead air.
Yeah.
And man, you don't see that often.
No.
It's a power play,
especially
for
at
sure.
the like beginning, like at the section you're talking about.
It's like the height of
instruments
the
kind of
song.
like following what the vocal does as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
And adding like it's very much this is what the vocal's doing. They're following along.
Yep.
Space.
And
vocals.
sometimes you do hear, like, in general music, you hear, like, a bit of a pause before a return to a verse or whatever. No, this is, like, a stab of silence. What an effect.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Cute as.
I also really loved the like filthy bass tone that was in that. Like it like wasn't peaking our
Oh, yeah.
speakers,
Yeah.
but had the effect of like if your speakers were peaking and
peaking?
going fuzzy.
I
that
really
artificial
wanted to.
distortion.
Yeah, I really wanted to know what was going on there because literally that my exact
What I
notes
wrote-
was it was peaking, but
Not.
like
Not.
not.
I wrote awful wubbing sounds good.
I
Okay,
think
so
it's just so overly distorted
Yeah.
that it kind of like has the sound
has that effect.
or
yeah.
like potentially he has peaked it while recording and that's just the sound of it.
of it. Yeah, and then he's dropped that back. Is this like a dubs? Has it been inspired by dubstep?
Oh god, I don't think there's dubstep in this.
You don't reckon? Yeah, for me, there were just all these like little things which
I think
it kind of harkened back to the time of people experimenting with, like...
This is definitely experimental in one way or another.
the only thing that I
I
think
guess so.
in this, to me, that was very dubstep-like was the builds to drops, but then most of the drops were subverted and not big and oomphy like you get in dubstep.
And also that kind of dubstep build to the drop just kind of has infiltrated pop in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
It's something
So I-
you expect in pop.
This
Yeah.
might be a fight back from that.
yeah.
And dubstep is also like not heavily vocal at all.
No.
So
What do you mean? Bangarang.
Like I've gone back in time.
But like
Maybe that's what 2009 is about. The title of that song is in dubstep.
He's in
times.
dubstep times. So okay, maybe dubstep is not the right. It reminds me of that kind of like late 2000s vibe with, I think it's C418, 318, the guy who did the Minecraft soundtrack dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like those sounds in the percussion. So like it's like, I don't know, like Atari or Sega kind of like chiptune almost like sounds for the percussion. I noticed it, especially in Astrid.
Oh, you mean like
And
the bit
crystal-
crushed white noise kind of
Is it-
shit?
yeah.
Funny that you say that,
And
because
D&D
I
as
was
well.
going to talk about the like drop in that. Where is it?
Because the general
Yeah,
synth
because
is-
it doesn't go super heavy. You get this really like light, pretty drop. It like builds up like it's gonna have a big drop, and then you get this like little like rhythmic, not quite high pitched, but it's like a ding kind of rhythmic thing that's
did you-
not super bassy.
What did you just say? The white noise
bit crush.
bit crush. That's the one. The bit crush kind of sound. Yeah, it was. Wasn't expecting it at all, and it was kind of like in D&D. It made me think of like Crystal Castles, like
Yeah.
with their kind of. Except it was like tonal and okay to listen to.
Shade Throne.
Instead of abrasive and intense, it was like how you could use those same sounds in a way to get that kind of. It's like game music, but intense and.
Yeah. Emotional, because the thing with video game music is it needs to leave room for the actual product to direct your emotions as well.
Right.
Video game music can't just steal your emotions all on its own, whereas a single can, right? It has
Yeah,
that
right.
that opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an interesting thought. Definitely another conversation.
It's a convention that is sometimes broken. Sometimes video game music does take the forefront. It does step in front of the game, but we're talking about something completely unrelated at this point.
Yeah.
To Cypress Creek.
Yeah,
Cypress Grove.
Cypress Creek. Cypress Glaive. Glaive is a cool name. Wish I'd
I
called
do
myself
like the way it's
Glaive.
spelled. I
Yeah.
don't know how I feel about the formatting of everything being lowercase.
What do you mean the way it's spelled?
AIVE. I don't know. I just
What, like
Like the word glaive?
the weapon,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the polearm?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not how I would have assumed it was spelt had I heard it spoken
so
to me.
good job, English language.
I honestly would have assumed there was no I.
Righto. Like grave.
Yes.
But glaive.
Yes. But I like the I in there.
Well, look, it would fit the rest of the naming conventions. I really don't know how I feel about lowercase stuff. I think it's cool.
It's been
though.
around for a long
It
time.
has, but I think
Yeah.
it's, as far as I'm aware, it's very typical of the genre this is in, to have like
If
Okay.
only he
Lowercase.
can't write the year 2009 in lowercase.
you could just have to spell it out.
So then, oh no, my absolute like everyone on Vinyl Tap knows how little I know about popular music. Is it Kanye who's done albums where everything was in lowercase or uppercase?
A
I
lot
think
of people
Taylor's
have.
one last
Yeah,
year was in
Folklore did that.
all lowercase.
But
Is
it's been
it?
around since before that.
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
well, so
it's-
like, when,
it's like
the reason
such a
like
thing.
when did it start becoming a thing? Because I don't really know.
I think 2019.
What?
No. Like it's back in vogue again.
Okay.
Like I don't like it's not the first
When did it
time.
start happening?
I think you saw it through the 2000s.
Really?
But and you would have seen some fringe creases before then.
I was gonna say I'm assuming it's like a very, very old school thing.
Yeah.
But
That cracked into the mainstream.
it's
a
like
little bit
things
then.
swings and roundabouts. Like sometimes it's popular, sometimes it's not, and it's having a moment again in pop music.
Right. Because like my gut feeling,
Didn't Ariana Grande do that like 5 years ago or something?
Yeah, I think so.
do you reckon it has a connection with listening to music digitally, like Spotify and stuff?
Yeah.
It definitely influences. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, bro.
Because like I feel I'm gonna sound real fucking old. I'm not sure I'm emotionally ready for this.
Go on.
So like him being 16, is this like a trendy, like?
Are all the kids doing this?
Is this like an?
You kids in your
Okay, no. But is this like a I've been raised with the internet, like pure? I don't know a world without it, and so this is like something coming out of that, or is this like a separate kind of thing in its own world?
I think both, because I think it's, again, having a moment because it has existed before, but that moment is also tied to things like TikTok and what is happening online at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But that being said, I would be very happy to admit I don't know that for a fact, and I am very also likely wrong.
You guys are so old.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
Well, like, I guess I don't know, because it's, if you're gonna spell all of your stuff in lowercase back in the 90s or the like even the early 2000s, it's a very different world, and its potential meanings or its potential kind of like why I did it is super fucking different, right?
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's cool that none of us know why. That's great. I love that for the discussion.
To be fair to us, it's such a strange thing to look into the history of. I've never considered it before. So
It just, yeah, I know.
So I'm sure the person with the PhD in this in the comments will let everyone know. So the melodies across this album. we talk about how this album, like, and this whole movement kind of moves away from pop music in a lot of important ways. It also is still pop music in a lot of important ways.
Yeah.
Melodically, it's very... And melody here is kind of a nebulous term because there are two melodies at most points in time. But he's really supertonic focused, which is an issue discussed in a few viral internet videos. I think there's like a Vox one, and Adam Neely did one once about how a lot of pop music just focuses on the second scale degree because it's kind of tense, but also not really.
Right. Okay.
And you can just do that for all the chords because, of course, your pop song only has 4 chords, and it works nicely with all of them. So they just do that.
So do you mean?
And that's a trend that's been going for it like over a decade.
Harmonically, 4 chords for most of these.
Yeah, there's nothing groundbreaking here. There's some more interesting stuff than just the 4 chords. Astrid, oh man, what a song! That was the bit where I said there was a mumble fugue. I don't think it was actually a fugue. I think they were just like different layered vocal lines happening at the same time, like mumble polyphony. And that went that had one of our chord progressions. It was D F sharp minor A E, which is almost the same as one of our songs. Oh boy. Yeah, but that's enough about that. Yeah, so there's shit going on.
It's kind of interesting because it's like it's hard to notice the
Harmony.
Which is really cool. I actually really like that.
The way I usually pick out harmonies is through bass notes, right? I listen for the roots in the bass. The bass across this album is so percussive. It's not very pitchy at all. It's like another drum, which is I believe it's a hallmark of this genre. I don't know.
I think that's just a lot of electronic, kind of highly produced music.
Yeah, it comes up in drum and bass, trap, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And by shit, I mean shit.
Lots of shade being thrown.
This shit slaps.
It's like the sub bass wub, right?
Yeah.
But it's more of a punch here than a wub.
Yeah. It's actually just mentioning that. Hi, how you doing?
How you doing?
So the bass was super overdriven, even though and it had that kind of, but then that wasn't necessarily that kind of sub bass. There was like that punch like you're talking about came from this kind of like, as literally like a wub.
This honestly wasn't as bassy as what I was expecting it to be either going into it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if...
Really trebly, actually.
I was going to say, I don't know if this was playing with expectations or not, but...
Yeah, we don't know enough about the context of
Yeah.
the album, yeah.
Anyone have favourite songs?
Oh, yeah? Oh, you want to know them?
Oh, okay.
Well, I really liked Astrid, to be honest. I think it had the most kind of variation within the one song. And when it ended, I was like, I wish we had more of that. Which is a lot of these songs, but I felt it most on that one.
Yeah, nice.
I think touché, because there was actually a pause in the vocals, and I was like, cool. Really, I noticed it, and I was like, that's nice.
I really liked all of them, which I was like so not expecting to think by the end of this. Standouts for me were D&D and the last 3 songs. I just love them all. Hey, hi, how you doing? Is probably my favorite for its usage of the silence and also the title. This album, I would absolutely recommend this album,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I really enjoyed it, and I can hardly remember how it sounds.
But also, everything was over so quickly that it
Yeah, if
doesn't
you don't
have...
like it, it's over. So just listen to it, all right?
Click above to find out what else we've listened to this month.
Click below to support the artist we just listened to.
And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode.